Good morning. Thanks for joining us today for the Utah Football Press Conference to summarize the newest additions to the program through the early signing period. Head coach Kyle Whittingham will open up with some comments to summarize the class. We also ask that you please keep the questions focused on the signing class, as that's our intent today. And those who would like to ask questions, go ahead and get in the queue. Go ahead, Coach. Thank you.
Okay, felt good about what transpired yesterday. No surprises either way. It was as we expected as far as how the signees ended up. Signed 18 players yesterday, and we feel really solid about the class. Addressed a lot of needs. Still have a few scholarships left over, and that is by design to address needs that may arise with the new transfer rules that are most likely going to go into effect, and just movement at the semester break that typically happens. We've got to be ready to address the needs that may arise. So, anyways, we feel like we're off to a good start with the 22 class. We're already started on those guys, and the cycle never ends. It goes from there's never a day off in recruiting, and it's constant. And our assistant coaches are to be commended for their hard work, and they've done a good job as always, targeting the right guys and getting our type of players in the program. And certainly was unique this year with no official visits and no off-campus evaluations or recruiting, home visits, that type of thing. So it was a whole different animal, but the result is very good. So we feel like we're in a good spot. So questions?
We'll start off with Trevor Allen from KSLSports.com, followed by Josh Newman from the Salt Lake Tribune.
Kyle, do you see you guys signing any more players during this signing period, or maybe in a couple of months when it's actually signing day?
Either way, that could go down. We're not going to rule that out. There's the portal has new players in it every day, literally, and so we just keep monitoring things, and we could add players shortly here. We may not be until summertime, but
I'm going to ask a question, I think. So can you turn that speaker down?
What? Hello? Okay. All right. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Yeah, it may be, there really is no time frame. We're going to take the best players available as they arise and as they become available. And like I said, we'll probably hang on to at least a couple until the second semester gets underway, and we've had the chance to see who may decide to go elsewhere. So that's the plan going forward.
Next, we'll go to Josh Newman, Salt Lake Tribune, followed by Patrick Kinahan, 1280 The Zone.
Hey, Kyle, good morning.
Good morning, Josh.
Obviously, it's beneficial when a freshman can enroll early and be available for spring ball, specifically at the quarterback position. How beneficial is it for that type of kid to get in early and hit the ground running and just start learning?
Yeah, it's a big benefit for any position, but in particular, as you mentioned, the quarterback spot, which is the most difficult to grasp and the most to it as far as new learning. And that's going to be a big advantage for Pete. He's going to be able to be here and hopefully be in spring ball. We're hoping there's a spring ball. But if nothing else, the meetings and the preparation, just with the quarterbacks in the meeting room and digesting the offense and getting going. So yeah, that's a big advantage, and we're excited that Pete is going to go that route.
Just a quick follow-up. In hindsight, you got Pete to commit pretty early back in April. When you can get your number one quarterback on the board to commit early, what does that do for the rest of your class as you're trying to, recruit and get kids to buy in?
Well, it's a good thing, and that would go for any real high-profile player that commits early. That helps you, recruit other guys. I mean, it lets other guys know that you got a good start to the recruiting class, and you've got quality players, and so that is a benefit in that regard. And certainly getting Peter early on was a factor in getting some of these other guys.
Next is Patrick Kinahan, 1280 The Zone, followed by Chris Kamrani from The Athletic.
With the recruiting rules and regulations changed so dramatically in the spring and all that because of the COVID, you ended up, I would assume, saving a lot of money because coaches couldn't go anywhere. Do you think that the NCAA or university presidents or conference commissioners or what have you might decide that, hey, we can actually save some money? So everybody got a recruiting class this year. So do you think this could have changes to what's allowable in the future as far as recruiting?
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of it in those terms. I certainly hope not, because going out on the recruiting trail and getting in the homes and building relationships with these players is a huge part of the recruiting process. And even though you can build those relationships somewhat over Zoom and that type of thing, it's just not the same as the in-person experience. And for the recruit's sake, I hope it doesn't change, because they deserve to be able to physically get on the campuses that they are considering and meet the coaches in person. And I think that's such a integral part of the whole process. Even though it can be done without it, I hope they don't go that direction, because I think it's not fair to the student athletes.
Next, Chris Kamrani, followed by Josh Furlong from KSL.com.
Kyle, can you describe the, I guess, chase, for lack of a better term, of Ethan Calvert and what he brings to this program? And is he the type of talent that will challenge for a starting job day one?
Absolutely, he's the type of talent that will challenge. He's a terrific player. We identified him years ago. In fact, when we were in the home recruiting his older brothers, and he was just a little guy, 7th, 8th grade, and so known Ethan for a lot of years, and we've had him on our radar for a lot of years, and he just kept getting better and bigger and stronger and developing, and it's a great football family. I mean, David, the dad, played here at Utah, and so it was something that we had. That was probably all together 5-6 years that we've known about Ethan, and we're excited to have him. He's as I mentioned yesterday in the press conference, he's the whole package. He's got the size, the speed, the intelligence, the instincts, he's a fierce competitor, and so we expect him to be in the mix right away.
Next, Josh Furlong, KSL.com, and we'll go back to Patrick Kinahan.
Yeah, a little bit of a two-part question here. Why was things a little bit stable coming into this recruiting class? Why wasn't there not a lot of kind of movement? And then also, how many of these kids do you expect to sign early and come in January to compete, and why is that happening?
Well, just the stability. Every year is a little bit different. Some years there are some last-minute decisions and some guys that you either get or lose at the last hour. But this year was more, and I guess maybe it's because of the way that the recruiting process went, with nobody taking visits and everyone, just locked in earlier without having the experience of going to the different campuses. Maybe it made it easier in some respects, for these guys to make a choice. I don't know. I don't have a great answer, but I know that we signed every single kid at the early signing period. We're not waiting on anybody for the second signing period, not right now anyways. We could identify somebody. But and then what was the second part of your question? I'm getting really old.
Just how many of those guys do you expect to enroll early, and why did that what's the benefit of that, I guess? Okay,
well, first of all, the benefit of early enrollee is for an early enrollee is manyfold. Number one, academics. You get a head start, a whole semester of academics that you wouldn't have gotten, which gets you off to a great start and accelerates the process towards graduation. The football aspect of it, you get an entire spring ball, assuming there is a spring ball, to get under your belt. And then when you come in fall, you've already got a great foundation built, and you've already been exposed to everything. It's not brand new in the fall, so when you're getting ready for the season, you're much further advanced. The prior to the spring ball, the winter conditioning is also a big benefit. Getting integrated with your teammates and working out with the guys, and it's a much better way to develop your body than if you're just home trying to do it on your own. So there's a lot of benefits to that. How many guys we got coming in? We have 10 players that'll be enrolling in January, and that's what, over half the class. And when you figure in the 4 players who are already here this fall that count in that class, we've got 14 guys that are either here already or will be here for spring semester, which is probably the highest number we've ever had. And that seems to be growing each year. The early graduation has been a trend and a growing trend for several years, and it just keeps getting further and further pushed in that direction.
Next, Patrick Kinahan, followed by Chris Comrani.
So I believe the other morning you said that Cam Rising would be out for spring ball because he has the injury, and that's obviously, you just said, assuming there is a spring ball. So with that in mind, I don't know the status of Bentley, but if he doesn't come back, does that mean the only scholarship quarterback you'd have available for spring ball would be this incoming freshman?
That would mean that if nothing changes between now and then, but I'm going to tell you there's a really good likelihood that we'll continue to try to address that position, and that would be worst case scenario, what you just mentioned. And I don't think we're going to get to worst case scenario. I think we're going to be able to have a good situation by spring ball.
So that obviously be through transfers?
Could be, or guys, like I said, that haven't signed yet, although there's very few of those guys left. I don't know what the percentage is, but I would guess 90% plus of the scholarships have already been utilized at this first signing period. But yeah, transfers is the other avenue, obviously, and that would probably be more likely to go that route.
Next is Chris Comrani, followed by Trevor Allen.
Kyle, with 5 linebackers in this class, do you expect all of those guys to stay at that position? Because obviously from a defensive standpoint, that's the one spot on your defense that you have the most limited amount of players actually on the field and based on your scheme. So I'm wondering, do you guys plan on moving some of these incoming guys around, or are they all going to stay in that room?
Odds are they won't all stay at linebacker, and we've already got a couple guys that we know are very versatile and may get their start at defensive end. And so to answer your question, no, I don't foresee all 5 remaining at linebacker. They may all take reps there for at least a portion or a period of time, but we'll balance things out and make sure that we get people in the right spots and where they have the highest ceilings. And that's pretty much our MO every year is to get guys where we think they have the best chance to develop and become the best player they can be. And so we just happen to have a lot of, on paper right now, linebackers, but we'll get it all balanced out.
Trevor Allen, followed by Josh Newman.
Kyle, did it help sending 7 guys to the league for you to get this class? And because it's obviously stacked with talent from top to bottom, did it help when you guys sent 7 guys drafted to the league?
Absolutely. Recruits take note of that, and we've had more players drafted than any team in the Pac-12 over the last, I can't remember the exact time frame, 4, 5, 6 years. There's a time frame there that we have had the most draftees of any team in the Pac-12, and that's absolutely a selling point. I mean, why wouldn't it be? You want to, when recruits get here, they should want 2 things: a degree and a chance to play at the next level. And our coaches are doing a great job of offering both those things to them.
We'll go to Josh Newman.
Kyle, as you move through the rest of this week and then into February, what do you view as the biggest position of need right now?
Well, it could be quarterback, depending on what transpires with the seniors. Running back, we lost, as we already talked about a few days ago, with Jordan and Devin. So that's a position that would need or could use a little bit of a bolster, depending on who else transfers. I'm sure we're not going to hang on to everybody. That's just not the reality of it. That something will materialize in the way of needs at a certain position, but right now I can't make that prediction. We need another wide receiver, most likely. That would be something that we've got on our radar as well. And so you just got to continue to address needs as they arise, but we know right now that there is a couple needs that have already arisen.
Okay, that will conclude our press conference today. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Okay, thanks guys.